Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. That's Ken Francis. I'm Craig Fissinger. TK and Heavy D are behind the cameras tonight. We're going to be talking to them in just a little bit. And Ken, if it wasn't busy enough this week, we've got some big league battles this week. We've got tournament draw. Today was actually National Signing Day, and a couple former Fish Report Live guests actually were in the spotlight today, weren't they?
Yes, they were, Craig. You know, it was nice to see Marion local star Adam Berkey signed with the University of Pittsburgh. Adam's had a great career at Marion Local. He's won 3 consecutive state championships. There you see the picture of Adam along with his parents and the administration and football coach there at Marion Local High School. So congratulations to Adam. Pittsburgh, you're getting a fine young man right there. And also Ethan Wolf, Craig, Minster. Actually, Ethan moved down to Tennessee just after the first of the year already. He's been part of the taking classes down at Tennessee. Great football player for the Minster Wildcats. It's going to be neat and exciting to watch Ethan compete in the tough Southeastern Conference, Craig, against Alabama, LSU, and the big boys.
Wow.
So it'll be a lot of fun. Congratulations to Ethan and the Minster football program.
Yeah, big days for those guys. And actually, I was told another former Fish Report Live guest, Meg Westerheide, a runner, signed today with UC, I believe, in track and cross country. We'll have to keep our eye on her when college comes
Absolutely.
around.
I'm sure we'll see her run a few times probably.
All right, well, those are former guests. Tonight we got 2 new guests, and if you want to talk some basketball, these teams are playing some pretty good basketball right now up in Crestview and Bradford, aren't they?
Absolutely, Craig. To the north, we've got the Crestview Knights. Head boys basketball coach Jeremy Best will be on the line with us, Craig. He's got his Knights ranked number 1 in the state right now in Division 4. They had a big win last night at Salina. They're undefeated on the season, and so we're really looking forward to talking to Jeremy, as well as the head coach of the Lady Bradford Railroaders, Patrick McKee. Patrick's done a phenomenal job with the Lady Railroaders. They're 15-4 on the season, most wins in the history of Bradford ladies basketball. So it's just his second season there, Craig, and we're really looking forward to seeing him.
All right, well, before we get to all that, just like we do every week, do have that weekly trivia question to get to. You stumped me 2 weeks ago. I got last week's trivia question. What do you got tonight?
All right, Craig. Well, the other night, last Saturday, actually, Claire Fisher from Minster set the Minster school record for most three-pointers for the Lady Wildcats. And the game, Craig, actually was at Russia. So congratulations to Claire Fisher. She hit 6 three-pointers. The question is, who from Russia holds the record for most three-pointers made in a single game? Craig, they made 7, all right?
Okay.
So the Russia record is actually 7. Which Lady Raider holds that record? Is it Cassie Francis, Betsy Nichols, Krista Nichols, or Holly Shappy?
Boy, I've talked about this before. I know I've had this conversation before, but I just and all 4 of those were good 3-point shooters. I just can't remember which one it is. So I'm going to have to look for a little help here on Twitter. So I'm sending out on Twitter. Hopefully some of the followers out there can let me know the answer to that, and I'll try to get that answer by the end of the show.
All right.
Well, let's get things started here, Ken, and talk a little boys basketball. Of course, our favorite, the league, is the Shelby County League, so let's get right to it, see where the Shelby County League is standing right now.
Well, Craig, speaking of teams playing well, you've got the Russia Raiders sitting atop the Shelby County League standings, Craig, at 9-2. They've won 13 consecutive games. They're at 15-3 overall, and right behind them, Craig, is the Houston Wildcats sitting at 8-2, Craig. Those 2 teams actually will be locking horns Friday night in an exciting packed gymnasium at Russia's Claire C. Nouveau gym. And, the JV game at 6:30, varsity game probably around 8 o'clock, Craig. It's going to be a packed house. It's for the Shelby County League Championship. You can't ask for much more on one of the final Friday nights of high school basketball, Craig. So Russia Houston getting together, and for the winner will be the outright champion of the Shelby County League.
Yeah, one thing we know for sure there's going to be a new champion this year. The last 2 seasons it's actually been Jackson Center. If you want to go back to 3 years ago, actually Houston won it that year. So Houston does have the 2011 championship. And then Russia, believe it or not, have to go all the way back to 2007 before the last time Russia won the championship 7 years ago. But looking forward to a good one on Friday night. Of course, Houston does have to play Botkins. I believe they have one more game left.
They play Botkins the following Friday night. So another interesting game Friday night, Craig. Real quick, Fort Laramie Jackson Center. They're both got 4 league. Actually, Laramie's got 4 league losses. Jackson Center 5. They could be playing for the number 3 seed in the Piqua sectional there. So that is a very important game Friday night between Fort Laramie and Jackson Center.
All right, and real quick, let's jump to the MAC and check out their standings, see where they're at. What do we got in the MAC?
Marion Local, Craig, sitting at 6-0, 13-2 overall atop the conference standings. Marion Local just a game back, Craig, and Delphus a couple games back. Versailles, sitting at 4-3. Ever since they lost Kyle Arns, Craig, to an injury there, they've kind of fallen on hard times. So Marion Local Fort Recovery, the team to beat there atop the MAC standings.
Yeah, usually when I think of the MAC, I think of Versailles, Marion, Delphus, but Fort Recovery playing some very good basketball. They actually won the MAC 2 years ago, believe it or not. They had the MAC Player of the Year that year, Wade Gelhaus, Elijah Kalig, who's their star this year, a senior. He was a sophomore back then, so had a very good team back then. Fort Recovery plays some pretty good basketball.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's jump ahead to that state poll. We've been talking about that the last couple of weeks. Take a quick look at the state poll, and we're familiar with that team on top there, Convoy Crest. You've actually been up there, Ken, the last 4 weeks in a row. They've been the number 1 team. They're 16-0 right now, as you mentioned before. They beat Salina last night, 62-60. Good game there. They were actually, I think they're playing for an NWC championship right now, and I don't believe they've had one of those, and you have to go all the way back to 2007 for that. But the guy leading them is he knows how to get it done, and that's because he actually took their team to state back in 2003, his first year. Got beat by a team that we're real familiar with, the Marion Local Flyers. But we're happy to have him live on the phone right now. His name is Jeremy Best. And Coach, welcome to Fish Report Live. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you.
Hey, listen, first things first, a big game last night against Salina. I know going into that, you knew that it was going to be a real challenge for your team. In your opinion, how did they respond Tuesday night?
Yeah, good question. Well, the number 1 challenge was getting there and then getting home with the weather. But, a lot of credit to our people for getting us down there safe and sound and getting us back home. And when we walked in, I'll be honest with you, we looked around, and I looked at my assistant coach, Coach Bone, and he's like, I don't know, we might have to turn around. And we looked to our left, and we saw our entire side of people filled up and ready to go for the girls' game. So we went ahead and carried on. And I thought going into the game, we had to do 2 things very well. We had to take care of the ball, which we did a good job of, and we had to secure the glass. And we didn't do great on that. We did good enough, but, they made a charge at us. Late in the game, we kind of fell asleep defensively in some cases, but we were pleased walking out of there, no doubt about it. We felt that Salina offered some things we hadn't seen all year, so we're excited about the opportunity to play them, and we were pleased.
All right, well, we have been talking about you the last 4 weeks, and that's simply because you've been the number 1 Division IV team in the state of Ohio. And I want to ask you, do you like having that honor, or is that something you'd rather not have?
Well, that's a question that's interesting to answer. We're not asking for the honor. We're happen to be playing pretty well through the first 16 games, and if the people that make that decision to vote on that think that we're worthy of that, then that's fine. But we to be honest, don't talk about it. It's not something we have posted on our bulletin board. Our goal is not to be the number 1 team in the state of Ohio. It's to get better every game and to be prepared for tournament and to make that ultimate dream, that ultimate goal of, making that march to Columbus. And I think, several teams have that goal, and that happens to be one of ours as well.
Jeremy, hi, this is Ken Francis. And, we've talked a little bit about your team. Right now you're atop the NWC standings. You had a big win last week against Spencerville. Tell us what you've got left in conference play as far as who you need to play, and also the importance of this to the boys.
Yeah, it is important. It's been 7 years running now since we've been right in the mix the last several years. We just can't get over the hump, and that's really one of our main goals is to win that conference. And we're right there in the mix. We control our own destiny, but ironically enough, we still got 4 games to play. We had one of our games postponed a couple of weeks ago with Paulding. So we're going to have 3 conference games in a span of 8 days, starting with this Friday with Allen East, follow that up next Tuesday with Paulding in the makeup game. We got to travel to Bluffton, and we finish up at home with Columbus Grove. So we have a ways to go yet, and we'll just take it one at a time. But as of right now, we control our own destiny.
Well, looking at the records of some of those teams, looks like you've got some tough games ahead of you, so good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, we do. We got some teams ahead that, we got to show up and play.
We're familiar with a few of your players. Our Russia Raiders baseball team played the Crestview Knights in the regional championship game just last spring in baseball. One of the familiar names that played baseball and basketball is Cam Etzler. Tell us a little bit about Cam.
Yeah, Cam's just one of a handful of guys. Our seniors are a fabulous crew that we have, not only for us, but just in the schoolhouse, in the building, in the hallways. And Cam is definitely a leader amongst those guys. He's a good athlete. He's an even better kid. He's a good student. He's going to Anderson actually to play basketball. He does a lot of neat things within the school. He's a leader of our FCA organization here that we have at school, and he's a good kid. Damian Helm's another one too, but those are kids that make my job as a head coach a lot easier because they make sure things get taken care of in the locker room and things of that nature. So, yeah, Cam's a good one, and he's a top-notch kid.
This week, Coach, you've got NWC rivals Allen East as well as Wayne Trace on Friday and Saturday. And then you've got the tournament draw on Sunday. So busy weekend for you. What is it in your season with your team right now that you look to improve upon?
Yeah, I think, again, like a lot of teams, we're playing a lot of games here in a short amount of time. So you don't have practice time to get better. And, because to be honest with you, your practices, you're cutting those down because you're worried about saving kids' legs and things of that nature. But I think a couple things. Number one, we have to continue to get better and be more effective executing in the half court. And then, defensively last night, we did a poor job guarding the post, and that's something we got guys that can do, and I think that's just a point of emphasis that I have to make a better job of. And we're generally pretty good on the defensive end, but that's an area right now as a team that we got to get better. We got to defend the post.
All right, Coach. Hey, listen, one more question and we'll let you go. Now, you actually have something in common with our coach here at Russia, Coach Bremagen. Not only are you the basketball coach there at Crestview, you're actually the golf coach, too, from what I understand. Now, Coach Bremagen, he coaches just boys golf. I understand you coach both boys and girls.
I do, yeah. We typically don't always have a girls' team, but we did this year. So, yeah, I'll do both of them.
Okay, well, last fall we talked to Coach Bremagen on the golf course, and we asked him what was the biggest difference between coaching basketball and golf, and his response was, well, you can't yell at the kids on the course like you do on the basketball court. So would you agree with that? Or?
Well, I don't yell at kids on the basketball court.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's a different animal. I really enjoy it. I guess one of the other things, too, there's no officials, so there's no officials to yell at either. So, I enjoy doing that. It's a good change of pace for me, and I obviously love playing golf and being out working with kids on a golf course. So, it's a lot of fun, but it's a different animal. It's more laid back, and, yeah, I definitely approach it differently than what I do coaching the game of basketball. You have to. It's a different sport.
All right, well, that's great stuff, Coach. We're going to let you go. We just want to say thanks for joining us tonight. Good luck on Friday night against Allen East, and hope to see you maybe on the tournament trail somewhere.
All right, guys. Hey, I really appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thanks, Coach.
All right,
thank you.
Thank you. That was the head coach of the Convoy Crestview Knights, Ken. And a couple notes about Jeremy Best. He actually played college ball at Bluffton University, had over 1,200 points there, and was a candidate, I guess, for All-American back in 1996. But good guy there. I want to go back to the sound room now. Guys, we hit on tournament just a little bit there with Coach Best. I want to go to you, Heavy D, right off the bat. Last week you picked the girls' Brookville Division III sectional. You got all top 4 seeds for me. I want to ask you about that Piqua sectional, the Division IV boys Piqua sectional. Give it to me again. Give me the top 4 seeds. I want to hear you nail all 4 of them.
Yeah, that's a great sectional. Had the opportunity to play in that when I was a junior and senior, and never won. And you can ask my wife. She was a cheerleader. She said we weren't very good, but a lot of long, quiet bus rides home. But back to your question, Craig. I've got the Russia Raiders coming in at number 1. I've got Howson number 2, Jackson 3. And I'm going to squeeze Laramie in at number 4 with Mechanicsburg at a close 5. out of those top 5 teams, pretty much anybody could have the ability to move on. It's always fun to go to that the Pickle sectional there, and we're usually pretty well represented in the district and down the regionals and the state as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun looking at that, watching those guys play.
All right, TK, I want to go to you. We've been talking about the NK Telco Athletic Appreciation Night all season, and from what I understand, this weekend is their last Athletic Appreciation Night.
Yeah, it is, Craig. It is at Anna. So for the Anna fans, it's the Layman at Anna this Friday night. Again, NK Telco Fan Appreciation. I think we got a little video of some of the previous winners from this year. And again, of course, wear your NK Telco shirt or make one up, and you become eligible for a Kindle Fire. And it's just NK Telco's way of saying thank you for 20 years of support in their broadcasting of high school sports. So a nice thing that they're doing there at NK Telco, and some of the nice winners we have there. So make a shirt, bring your shirt, and you may just win a Kindle Fire.
All right, good stuff, guys, and that's going to do it for our boys basketball talk. We're going to take a quick break, but hang in. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little girls basketball, including that big interview with Patrick McKee, head coach of the Bradford Railroaders. Stay right there.
My baby finally gave up on me. I can't say that I blame her. She just got tired of playing losing games. I should suck on my pride and beg that girl to come back home. Deep down I know she's better off, 'cause fools like me are meant to die alone. Someone give me one good reason, one good reason to smile. I'm trying to be that guy my mother prayed that I would be. Some days I feel like hitting the mark, some days I fail hopelessly. I think I'm alright, I just stumble from time to time. Oh, my mother knows I'm trying to be that guy.
Welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. And Ken, before the break, we were talking boys basketball. We're going to talk a little girls basketball right now. Let's get right to it. Talk the SEL boys before the break. Let's talk some SEL girls. Where are we at in the league standings?
Well, Craig, just real quick, Fort Loramie girls league champions, first time in a few years. So congratulations to Coach Carla Siegel and the Fort Loramie Redskins. Rushi with a fine year, finishing second place at 9-3. And Coach Tim Hatcher's got to be very happy with that, Craig. His first year at the helm of the Lady Raiders. Had a few injuries this year, but still managed to pull out a second-place finish in the league. So congratulations to those teams, and good luck to them in the tournament trail.
All right, and a little fact on Fort Loramie and Anna. They've actually, the last 6 years, before this year, the last 6 years in a row, Fort Loramie and Anna both finished in that 1-2 spot in the conference. You have to go all the way back to 2008, I think, before actually Howson tied for second with Laramie. Anna won it that year. But anyway, Rushi in second place this year, at least assured a spot of second place. Maybe they can win it outright. We'll see, but something the girls should be awfully proud of. And Ken, let's jump ahead and talk a little MAC real quick, too. Where are we at in the standings there?
Well, Versailles, Craig, sitting atop on 8-0, Minster at 7-1. Those two teams hooked up earlier in the year, Craig. Versailles came away with a big 4-point victory over Minster. pretty much was the league championship game played several weeks ago, Craig. Coldwater in third place at 5-2 with a fine season this year. And one of the hotter teams in the area right now, Craig, the New Knoxville Rangers, sitting at 4-2, 14-4 overall, and riding a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah, you mentioned New Knoxville. You're right. There's a lot of hot teams in the MAC. They've actually got to be the hottest. They started out the season 2-4, have since then have won 12 in a row. And the way the bracket's set up their tournament bracket, I think New Knoxville's one to watch for come tournament time.
Absolutely.
All right, let's jump ahead. We'll talk a little CCC basketball now, Ken, and the Bradford Lady Railroaders. They're a team that's actually had quite a season. They actually had a big week this week. On Monday, they broke a school record for the most wins in a season, picked up their 15th victory of the season, and to top it all off, I saw they're on JJ Huddle's website as I guess team of the week.
Team of the week.
The voting's going on for that. I think the last I looked, they were ahead in that. So a lot of exciting things going on in Bradford, and the guy that's leading them has been there for the last 2 years, head coach Patrick McKee. Happy to have him live on the phone right now. Coach McKee, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, guys. Glad to talk to you tonight.
All right, well, listen, congrats on the fine season so far. We just mentioned you broke a school record on Monday for the most wins in a season. I read a little preview of your team before the season started, and you said your number one concern was not really wins, but that you just wanted to be competitive. You're 15-4. Are you accomplishing what you set out to do?
Oh, we definitely are. As a program, we sat down at the beginning of the year, and we kind of made it a decision that we can't control January and February at the beginning of November. So instead of making goals about this many wins or we want to do this in the tournament, we decided that we would just like to come into every game and compete, and we'll compete for 4 quarters. And then after that game, we'll kind of refocus and we'll reset goals for that next game. Kind of taking that strategy, we've done some pretty good things this year.
All right, like I mentioned, this is your second year as the head coach. Last year you were 9-13, so you've already exceeded that record by a long shot. What's the biggest difference from last year to this year?
I really think the biggest difference this year is the girls, the quality of work that they put in when they come in the gym. They come in every day, and we get after it for 2.5 hours, 2 hours, an hour and a half, however long we're in the gym. It's good quality work. And we're paying a lot more attention to detail, and that's something that my assistant coach, Coach Biesecker, brings along with him. And just paying attention to really fine things, especially in basketball. Those will win you a game very easily. And then another thing, too, is our girls are just gelling together a lot better this year. Last year we had a couple incidents between girls, but this year we're kind of playing together as a team, and it's really showing.
Coach, hi, this is Ken Francis. Certainly one of your stars this year is senior Brooke Dunleavy. Brooke's 5'9" shooting guard. She leads your team in scoring. She pulls down a lot of rebounds for you. Tell us a little bit about Brooke and some of the other starters for the Railroaders.
When Brooke's on her game and when Brooke plays her style of basketball, she's one of the best, and she's tough to stop. She's that girl that she doesn't play a fall sport, which is kind of rare in our program, but she puts in a lot of time in the summer, and she puts in a lot of time in the fall to work on the fundamentals and to work on the little things just to make her a little bit better. And that hard work in the off season is really paying off for her right now. Another one of our starters is – go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, another one of our starters is Bree Bates. She's kind of an undersized post player, but she is definitely our workhorse down low. She's really the only post player I would say that we really have as far as size and the ability down there. She usually has the job of guarding the other team's best post player, playing against her, and she does pretty well. She runs the floor really well for her position as well, too. Our two point guards that we have, the Michaela Bargy and Haley Patty, the one thing that they both give us is energy. These two are a coach's dream in practice. When I think about girls basketball, I think about always having girls that are like these two, and I always point these two out to my younger girls. They make every practice a competition between each other, and that's really what makes them better every single day. Michaela, she's the energy. She's going 110% every day, and that's awesome to see. And then the Haley Patty, she's kind of like our coach on the floor. She's the heartbeat of our team. You know, with her on the floor, we can definitely see that we're a lot better with her off the floor.
Coach, Thursday.
Go ahead.
Coach, Thursday night you've got Bethel. It's senior night. You've got a lot of good seniors on this team. What's it going to be? It's parents' night, senior night. What's it going to be like for yourself and these senior girls as they take the Bradford court for the last time?
Oh,
Oh, it's going to be emotional. I already know that. We kind of view our program as a family rather than just a team for a couple months. So anytime that we have to say goodbye to, 5 family members, essentially, it's going to be tough. I know these seniors, they have a lot of heart, not only for this sport, but also for each other, willing to do whatever it takes. So I know they're going to go on the floor Thursday night, and they're going to leave it all on the floor, and we'll see what the outcome is. And also, it's another exciting night for our fans to come out and watch our girls. We've had huge support this year, and it's that last time that they can come out and watch an impressive season. And we've also got a little special presentation that the girls don't know about going to happen between games as well. So.
Well, that's good stuff, and like you said, you've got a big reason there to celebrate a very successful season. Let's talk a little bit about the tournament trail. You got rewarded for your good season with a number 3 seed. You take on Catholic Central. Tell us what you're going to say to your girls before this tournament game, and the chances that your team has in this to make a nice postseason run.
Yeah, so far I've showed the girls the bracket, and they know where we sit and kind of our route to get where we want to go. Overall, kind of going into this tournament, our school's never even won a sectional title as far as the girls basketball, so that's been a goal, and they kind of know that. And they kind of see our path to get there. Obviously, though, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. Really, all we're going to tell the girls about Catholic Central and every single tournament is, first thing, most importantly, is that we play our style of basketball, and we do the little things right on our side of the game. We can't get too over-worried about what the other teams are going to try to do to us, either offensively or defensively. We just kind of have to play our style of game and let the outcomes see where it lands.
All right, Coach, one more thing. You mentioned Chris Biesecker, your assistant coach. Got a pretty good one there. I think most people around here remember him from being the head coach over there at Covington for something like 23 years and 300, and I believe I saw 344 wins somewhere around that. But what's he meant to your program?
He means a lot to us. And, I really can't sit here and put into words everything that he means to this program. He just the experience that he has, and not only the experience but also the success that he has in the game of girls basketball. He brings that knowledge. He's constantly, telling us little things. He really is kind of what gets us paying attention to the detail, because that's his main thing there, is the detail part of basketball, and definitely his defensive mindset. That's really kind of helping us out a lot. The girls are learning a lot from him. And not only the girls, I know I'm learning a lot from him, and this being my first varsity coaching job. It's an honor to have him as my assistant coach and be able to turn to him to talk to about any possible situation.
All right, well, listen, that's great stuff. I want to say congrats again on a great season so far. Good luck Thursday night against Bethel, and thanks for joining us, Coach, tonight on the show.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, that was the head coach of the Bradford Railroaders. And, Ken, he's actually, like you said, the number 3 seed, a big deal for them. And I also read something today. I thought I read where they're going for their second postseason win in the last 15 years. So they've got to be, I guess, really happy about that number 3 seed and their chances of maybe getting a few wins in tournament.
Absolutely. When you look at their record, Craig, 15-4 overall, and you look at their tournament draw, and they could make a nice postseason run. Craig, who knows? Maybe match up with somebody out of the our girls sectional, Sydney sectional. So when it's all said and done, so yeah, look for Bradford to make a nice run. All
right, one more thing to get to, Ken, and that is that trivia question you asked me at the beginning of the night. Why don't you tell it to me again, and I'm going to check for answers on Twitter here.
All right, Craig. Well, we talked about Minster's Claire Fisher a little bit, setting the school record for 3-pointers for a Minster girl. Who holds Rushi's school record for most 3-pointers made in a single game? Is it Cassie Francis, Betsy Nichols, Krista Nichols, or Holly Shappy?
I tell you what, I got all kinds of Twitter answers here, and they pretty much covered every person that you just said. So I'm really confused now. But I do have a couple for Cassie Francis. Those 2 Nichols girls, I know them pretty well. They're probably going to be disappointed I didn't guess them. But since Cassie was guessed twice, I'm going with Cassie.
Well, Craig, you should have went with your sister-in-law. You should have went with the younger one, Betsy, because Betsy holds the school record. Betsy Nichols actually had 7 3-pointers twice in 2 different games for the Lady Raiders.
Oh, boy.
So Betsy's really going to get on you the next time.
Hopefully I don't get her in the Christmas gift exchange next year. All right, well, listen, that's going to do it. I do want to say special thanks to Coach Best and Coach McKee for coming on the show tonight. Thanks to the viewers out there for tuning in. Ken and I and the crew will all be back again next week, same time, same place, talking a little tournament basketball. But until then, have a great rest of the week, and good night, everyone.